You're sitting on a plane right now, buckled in, relaxed, scrolling through your phone. But what if I told you there's a hidden button just inches from your hand that could open an emergency exit mid-flight? And another one that unlocks the bathroom door from the outside? Yeah, that's not in the safety demonstration. Today, we're exposing 10 hidden buttons, switches, and controls on airplanes that you've probably walked past hundreds of times without noticing. Some of them are lifesavers. Others? Well, let's just say touching the wrong one could turn your flight into a nightmare. Flight attendants know where every single one of these is. Pilots are trained to use them. But passengers? You're kept in the dark. Until now. Because understanding these hidden controls isn't just fascinating, it could literally save your life in an emergency. So hit subscribe, because Flight Intel is about to reveal the secret control panel of commercial aviation. Let's dive into the buttons airlines hope you never discover. The hidden armrest release button. You're stuck in a middle seat. The aisle armrest is locked down. You can't move. You can't breathe. But here's what they don't tell you. That armrest? It's not locked at all. There's a hidden button underneath, right where the armrest meets the seat frame. Press it, and boom, the armrest lifts all the way up. Flight attendants use this trick constantly to help passengers squeeze in and out of tight spots. Why don't they tell you? Because if everyone knew, passengers would be raising and lowering armrests constantly, creating chaos during boarding. Airlines want control. They want you to sit still and not fidget with the furniture. But now you know. Next time you're crammed in, reach under that armrest. Feel for a small metal or plastic lever. Press it. Instant extra space. You're welcome. The lavatory emergency unlock. Here's a scenario nobody wants. Someone passes out in the airplane bathroom. The door's locked. Panic sets in, but there's a secret way in. Look at the lavatory door. See that lavatory or vacant/occupied sign? Flip it up or slide it to the side, and you'll find a small hidden latch or switch. That's the emergency unlock mechanism. Slide it, turn it, or push it, and the door opens from the outside. Flight attendants are trained to use this during medical emergencies. It's designed so that if someone collapses, crew can get in fast without breaking down the door. But here's the dark side. Anyone who knows about this could technically unlock a bathroom while someone's inside. That's why airlines keep it quiet. They don't want passengers discovering this trick and using it as a prank. But in a real emergency, knowing where that hidden latch is could save a life. Just don't be the person who uses it for anything else. The seat recline emergency override. Ever been trapped behind someone who reclined their seat all the way back, crushing your knees? Frustrating, right? But what if I told you there's a hidden button that forces seats to lock upright, and only flight attendants know about it? During takeoff and landing, crew members walk through the cabin checking that all seats are upright. But they're not asking nicely. They're pressing a hidden override button, usually located on the side of the seat near the armrest or underneath the seat cushion. This button forces the seat into its locked, upright position, bypassing the passenger's recline control completely. It's a safety feature. If there's an emergency evacuation, reclined seats block the aisle and slow down escape routes. Airlines don't advertise this because they don't want passengers fighting over recline wars. Imagine if everyone knew they could force the seat in front of them upright. Chaos. But in an emergency, crew needs this control to clear pathways fast. Smart travelers? They know where that button is, just in case. The overhead bin emergency release. You've seen it happen. An overhead bin slams shut mid-turbulence, and suddenly someone's bag is trapped inside. But there's a hidden release mechanism that opens bins even when they appear stuck or locked. Most overhead bins have a small, recessed button or lever near the latch. It's usually hidden on the underside of the bin door or tucked into the hinge mechanism. Press it while pulling the handle, and even a jam bin will pop open. Flight attendants use this constantly when passengers overstuff bins or when latches malfunction. But they don't tell you about it because they don't want passengers yanking on bins during flight, risking falling luggage injuries. Here's the pro move. If your bag is stuck and the bin won't open, don't panic. Look for that small release button near the handle. Gentle pressure plus a pull, and you're back in business. Just don't do it during turbulence, or you'll have a laptop landing on someone's head. The cockpit door emergency access panel. After September 11th, cockpit doors became fortresses. Reinforced steel, multiple locks, bulletproof. But there's still a way in, and it's hidden in plain sight. Next to the cockpit door, usually camouflaged into the wall paneling, there's an emergency access keypad. Flight attendants have a code that allows them to request entry. But here's the catch. Pilots can override it from inside if they sense a threat. The system works like this. Crew punches in the code. A chime sounds in the cockpit. Pilots have 30 seconds to either unlock the door or press an emergency lockdown button that seals it completely. If pilots don't respond at all, the door unlocks automatically, assuming they're incapacitated. Why don't passengers know about this? Because the last thing airlines want is someone trying to figure out that code or tampering with the panel. The location varies by aircraft, but it's always within reach of the forward galley. It's a last resort system, a way for crew to reach pilots if something goes catastrophically wrong. Let's hope it stays theoretical. The hidden fire extinguisher compartments. You know where the fire extinguishers are on a plane, right? Wrong. Most passengers have no idea. Airlines are required to have multiple fire extinguishers on board, but they're hidden in discrete compartments throughout the cabin. Look near the galley areas, behind wall panels with small label doors, or under certain crew jump seats. The labels are intentionally subtle. A small red sticker or an engraved fire extinguisher tag that blends into the aircraft interior. Flight attendants memorize these locations during training, but passengers walk past them every flight without noticing. Why the secrecy? Airlines don't want untrained passengers grabbing extinguishers during minor smoke events and causing more chaos than help. But in a real fire emergency, knowing where these are could be critical. Next flight, do a quick scan. Look for those small red markers near galleys and exits. Knowledge is power, especially when flames are involved. The seat belt double lock release. Your seat belt has a hidden feature you've never noticed. A double lock mechanism that only flight attendants know how to release. In normal operation, you press the buckle and it opens. Simple. But in certain emergency scenarios like a water landing or evacuation, seat belts can jam under pressure or panic. That's where the hidden release comes in. Near the buckle mechanism, there's a secondary release point. It varies by aircraft, but it's usually a small lever, button, or sliding mechanism hidden on the side of the buckle assembly. Pull it while pressing the main release, and even a jammed belt pops open. Crew members practice this during emergency training because trapped passengers slow down evacuations. Airlines keep it quiet because they don't want passengers fiddling with seat belts mid-flight, accidentally triggering the secondary release. But if you're ever stuck, feel around that buckle. That hidden lever might be your way out. The window shade lock override. Window shades during takeoff and landing must stay up. It's a safety rule. But what happens when a passenger refuses or the shade gets stuck? Hidden override. Many aircraft window shades have a small locking pin or lever built into the track mechanism. Flight attendants can engage this lock, physically preventing the shade from being lowered. Passengers can pull all they want, but that shade isn't moving. The lock is usually a tiny switch or rotating pin hidden in the window frame, barely visible unless you know where to look. It's designed to ensure compliance without confrontation. Airlines don't publicize this because they prefer passengers think the shades are simply stuck or broken rather than intentionally locked. Less argument that way. But now you know. If your shade won't budge during takeoff, it's not broken. It's locked. And there's a flight attendant nearby with the override code. The emergency oxygen panel master switch. You know those oxygen masks that drop from the ceiling? There's a master control panel that triggers them all at once, and it's hidden in the flight attendant station. In the event of cabin depressurization, masks deploy automatically based on altitude sensors. But crew also has manual override capability. Near the forward or rear galley, there's a concealed panel with a switch labeled something like emergency oxygen or manual mask deployment. If the automatic system fails, or if there's a medical emergency requiring oxygen before altitude triggers deployment, flight attendants can pull that switch and release every mask in the cabin simultaneously. Passengers never see this panel. It's behind a locked door or under a hinge cover plate that blends into the galley wall. The location is intentionally hidden to prevent tampering or accidental activation. Why keep it secret? Because one wrong pull and the entire cabin thinks there's a decompression emergency, triggering mass panic. But for crew, it's a critical backup system that could save lives if automation fails. The emergency door manual override cable. Aircraft doors have multiple redundant systems. Electronic controls, mechanical latches, and finally, a hidden manual override cable that can force the door open even when everything else fails. This cable is usually located near the door mechanism, hidden behind a removable panel or tucked into the door frame itself. In extreme emergencies like a crash landing where electrical systems are dead and mechanical latches are jammed, crew can pull this cable to manually release the door. It requires significant force. This isn't something that accidentally triggers. You have to really pull hard and know exactly where it is. Training scenarios drill this into flight attendants' heads because in a smoke-filled or upside-down cabin, this cable might be the only way out. Airlines never mention this to passengers because the last thing they need is someone discovering that cable and yanking it mid-flight out of curiosity. But for crew, it's the absolute last resort option. The final fail-safe between passengers and the outside world. There you have it. 10 hidden buttons, switches, and controls on airplanes that most passengers will never know exist. From armrest releases to emergency door overrides, these secret mechanisms are everywhere once you know where to look. Airlines have spent decades perfecting these systems. They're designed to give crew maximum control in emergencies while keeping passengers safely unaware. Because sometimes ignorance really is bliss at 35,000 feet. But here's the thing. Knowledge is power. Understanding where these controls are doesn't mean you should touch them. It means if something goes catastrophically wrong and crew is incapacitated, you might be the person who knows how to unlock that jam door or release that stuck seatbelt. Which hidden button shocked you most? Drop in the comments. And if you found this valuable, smash that subscribe button because Flight Intel is just getting started. Safe travels, and remember, knowledge is the best carry-on.